Here's a copy of the lawsuit that I got in the mail. It says that my tenants are suing my real estate company for $150,000 because they claim that they slipped and fell in the bathtub because they say that it was too slippery when the water was on. And so now they want me to cover emotional damages, they want me to cover their back rent, and a couple other things, and so they are asking for $150,000. There's a saying in the real estate world that goes, if you are a real estate investor and you haven't been sued, then you haven't been in business long enough. Lucky for me, I got sued pretty early on in my real estate investing career. Lawsuits are not fun. I mean, I felt like a criminal when I first got the lawsuit, even though I did everything I could to make sure that my property was in good shape because I hated the idea of being a slumlord, so I would do everything I could to make sure that my real estate investment property was tip-top. When I got into real estate investing, I didn't really have a mentor or guidance or anyone to go to. I didn't grow up with real estate investing parents or real estate investing family members or friends. I just kind of read about it in books and decided this looks like fun, so I got into it. I started investing in real estate when I was 19 because this was when we were coming out of the 2008 real estate crash, so real estate prices were dirt cheap, so I was able to get into real estate for pennies on the dollar. The first real estate investment property that I ever bought was this condo right here. Now, the interesting thing about condos is condos don't really require a lot of maintenance because the exterior, the building is taken care of by the condo homeowner association, so all you really got to take care of is the cosmetic stuff on the inside because the big stuff is taken care of by the condo association. So the roof, the foundation, the grass, the parking lot, that's all taken care of by the condo association. You're paying a monthly fee for this, and everything inside the four walls of your condo unit, that's you. Ever since I got involved in real estate investing, I wanted to make sure that my properties were a good investment, not just for me, but for the tenants living in there as well, because I wanted people to feel like home. I mean, if you enjoy the home that you live in and it's a nice home and it's taken care of, chances are you're gonna want to live there longer as an investment. And for me, it makes me feel better because I feel like I'm giving somebody a nice home where you're getting a really good value for the home that you're living in. And so when I bought this condo, I made sure I renovated it and made it really nice. I put in stainless steel appliances, even though that wasn't the norm for properties in that area. And so I made sure this property was tip top, made sure it was really nice, made sure it was ready to go. That way, if you were the one living in there, you were getting a steal for the condo that you were living in at that price. Here's how real estate investing works. So you have this property and you can come in, let's say this is me, I wanna buy this property, I'm gonna draw me a nice mustache. So I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna buy this property. Now, instead of me actually living in this property myself, I am going to rent this property out to somebody else or a family, and they're gonna come in and they're gonna be very happy because they get a nice home to live in. In exchange for them living in my rental property, my investment property, they are going to pay me rent every single month. So I bought that condo for just $8,000. That wasn't the down payment, that was the actual price of the condo because this was coming out of the 2008 crash and property values were dirt cheap at the time. And I rented the condo out for $600 a month. I hired a property management company from the get-go, and a property management company's job is to one, lease the property, do the credit check, do the background check, make sure that the tenant that they're moving in is good, and then once the tenant is in your property, their job is to make sure the tenant pays, their job is to pay all the property bills, the property taxes, the insurance, and their job is to make sure that the property is in compliance with the city. So their job is to make sure that the investment runs smoothly, that way you don't have to do anything, that way it can be passive for you, and so you hire the property management company to do all the day-to-day stuff. Where I messed up was I got really excited. I hired this property management company and they put the property up for lease, but I was really excited because this is my first rental property and I just wanted to get somebody in there, that way I can start making this passive income, this cash flow from this investment property. And so I went on Craigslist and I listed this property for lease myself. And as soon as I put it up on lease, I found this old couple who wanted to live on my property. They sent me a message and I responded to them and I said, sure, I'll show you the property myself. That way they don't have to go through my property management company, and that way I don't have to pay my property management company the first month's rent, because if they lease my property, I gotta pay them the first month's commission. Like, so if $600 a month, I gotta pay my property management company $600. I was like, you know what, I'll just do it myself. So I showed them the property, they really liked it, and then I connected this couple to my property management company. That way my property management company could do whatever background checks or credit checks they wanted to do, and they said that everything was fine, and then they approved the tenants, and then they signed a lease with the tenants, and they moved the tenants in for $600 a month, and I got to keep that $600 in my pocket because I found the tenants myself. Now, the whole point of having a property management company is to make your life easier because it kind of puts this boundary between your tenants and you. The tenants typically are not going to know who you are because they're dealing with a property management company, and so if the tenants have an issue, they got to call the property management company. They're not going to be calling you. Now, this is where I made that mistake, where I found the tenants. So the tenants were working with the property management company, but they also had my phone number, they had my information. So if something wasn't going right, guess who they called? Me. So these tenants, for lack of a better word, were very needy. They kept calling up the property management company every single day with complaint after complaint after complaint, and then they would call you. Like, I would be coming out of my chemistry class because I was still in college full time, and then I would get a call from my tenants, and I would pick up, and I would have this hour-long conversation with my tenants, with them crying and talking about whatever they think was wrong. Like, to give you an example, one of the biggest headaches of my entire real estate investing career was when this tenant was cutting vegetables on the countertop directly. She was cutting cucumbers, and as she was cutting cucumbers on the countertop, she ended up somehow scratching the countertop. I guess she was cutting these cucumbers really hard, and so now she was so upset, she was crying, she was frazzled. She calls up my property management company in tears, bawling, talking about how she scratched the countertop, saying that she needs a brand new countertop because she scratched the countertop, and so she was so demanding, saying that she needs a new countertop immediately. The property management company naturally said, "No, we're not going to put in a new countertop because you scratched it while cutting a cucumber. How about next time you use a cutting board?" She didn't like that answer. So she starts calling me, and I'm coming out of my chemistry class, and she calls me bawling like the world is gonna end, telling me that I'm a slumlord because she scratched the countertop and that the property management company is not giving her a new countertop. And she's like, "You are not a good person. You're such a bad person. You're not taking care of me." And on and on and on. Now, I'm feeling bad because I hate the idea of being a slumlord, so I called up my management company and I'm yelling at them, "Why are we not taking care of this issue? What's going on here?" The management company was like, "Why would you want to put in a new countertop and spend hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars doing that when they could just use a cutting board and the scratch is like not even an inch big?" And so this went on and on. Eventually, we just put in a brand new countertop to make this mess go away, but these were the type of issues that we were dealing with. One time the tenants called me freaking out because they said there was this major electrical issue with the property, and they said the property is not safe to live in. It could burn down. This electrical issue is going to cause a whole bunch of circuit issues. And so now I'm worried. I'm like, what's going on with this property? They call up an electrician, and I go to the property with the electrician, and we're at the property and we see what's going on. And it turns out one of the bulbs had fused at the property, and all they needed was a new $4 bulb. I felt bad, so I paid their electrician out of my pocket because I did not want them to feel unsafe living in my property. Anyways, this goes on, and I changed property managers, and now I got an even better property management company who is more sophisticated. They have more tools, they have better contractors, and they have better resources to take care of tenants. And so we're just kind of dealing with issues here and there, and both property management companies that I have worked with both told me that this tenant that we were dealing with was one of their worst tenants ever. And these are property management companies that are dealing with thousands of tenants. And so that was kind of like, oh, all right, so it's not just me who feels like I'm getting abused here. I don't know this for sure, but if I had to guess, I think that these tenants just thought that, oh, this real estate investor, the landlord of this property, must be this really rich person, and so they're gonna do whatever they can to kind of squeeze money out of this person, even though I was just a 19 or 20-year-old college kid trying to figure out how this whole real estate investing thing works, and I was definitely not loaded with money. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you gotta do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.